If you need to haul a lot of people and or a lot of things, there are not many better ways to do it than the Chevy Suburban. And if you want to do it cool and quick, you get yourself the 6.2 liter small block V8. But if you option all that, what sort of fuel economy can you expect when you're cruising on the highway? Tonight we find out. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and tonight we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2025 Chevrolet Suburban RST with the 6.2 V8. In this test, I'm going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour to get a realistic fuel economy number for this full-size SUV. Oh, before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. We had the Suburban's brother/sister, the Tahoe, a few years ago. Same RST trim. That one I believe had the 6.2 as well. So theoretically these should get similar numbers. However, this is refreshed for 2025. We're seeing some updated styling, some new features inside, and importantly to me, Super Cruise available on all trims from LS above. So this RST model equipped with Super Cruise. It's still an option, but you can get it. If you do want to see more on the Suburban, check the link below. We're going to be taking this on an awesome camping trip, towing out some Kawasaki jet skis and doing some camping. Say a prayer for us with these 24-inch wheels that nothing happens to them when we're off-road. And we've also got a dedicated review of the Bose sound system. You can find those linked below. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this Suburban 18 miles per gallon, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. And we know there are plenty of people who do steady state highway trips, especially in a big vehicle like this, and you'd like to know what sort of numbers you can realistically expect here in the real world. Not only that, but that EPA test does a lot of slowing down and speeding up, whereas if you're just cruising nice, smooth, steady state, the cylinder deactivation in here is going to be able to do its job a little bit better, maybe save you a little extra fuel. So in order to test that out, I'm going to head out on the highway here at night while traffic dies down. We're going to go out and do 100 miles, come back, fill up at the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method, and get a result. Now, a few things to note for the test. Outside temperature should be somewhere around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Our tire pressures are going to be set at their door placard, 35 psi front, 39 psi rear. And we're going to run the climate control at 73 degrees auto. So, without any further ado, let's head to the pump. We are all fueled up, put in just over 2 gallons into the tank of the Suburban. Before we start the engine, we've got the vehicle in the on position here. We're going to reset our trip 1, reset our GPS, and we are ready to begin. Climate control set at 73 auto. Let's see what sort of drive modes we got here in the Bourbon. Be under home. Do we have drive modes? Let's see. Chevrolet vehicle status. I think usually they're in there. Although, are they still hiding over here? Yeah, there we go. So there's a physical control for drive modes: normal, sport, off-road, and tow haul. We're just going to do this one in normal. We've got the drivetrain set in 2-wheel drive, rear high. We're going to take it nice and easy over to the highway, pick up the test from there. Now, the goal of this test isn't to hypermile. We're not trying to get the best possible fuel economy for this truck, but rather a realistic figure. So in order to do that, we're getting up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace, and I'm going to set the cruise control to a GPS indicated at 71 miles per hour. That should allow us to average 70 over the whole test. Letting the 10-speed do its work. It really has become quite the refined powertrain here from GM, the 6.2 and the 10 Auto. I did forget to mention earlier that we put premium fuel in here. Now, premium fuel is recommended but not required for the 6.2 V8 from Chevy. That being said, if I owned this truck and I were driving it on the highway with no load, no people, just cruising along, driving easy, I would just put regular fuel in there. If the engine if the ECU can adjust timing and make use of regular gasoline, if it's not required, then for an easy, just cruising along the highway, I would just do that. The reason we did premium is, one, it does say premium recommended, and two, that's what the EPA tested this engine on, was premium, so that's what we're using as well. But just know, you'd be totally fine running regular in this, as long as you weren't doing any sort of high-performance driving or towing. It does look like our speedometer is remarkably accurate, 71 on the dash, giving us 71 on the GPS, so we're going to settle in right there. And we are going to initialize Super Cruise. Pretty much the main reason I requested this vehicle for this week, for the road trip we're doing, is because not only does it have Super Cruise, but it has Super Cruise that works with towing, which I guess all Super Cruise does these days. But it is the only semi-autonomous driving functionality on the market that supports towing. And we're going to be towing out some jet skis to the lake for a nice camping weekend, and I wanted to be able to drive like this, hands down, relaxed, letting the car do things for me. Watch this. We're coming up on this Nissan right now, and any moment it should put the left blinker on, vibrate my seat, and change lanes for us. Any minute now. Maybe it's because the speed is so close to what I have my cruise set at that it's not actually making the lane change. Or maybe it's because we're in a construction zone. I'll give it a sec. I'm sure there will be a lane change situation coming up here soon. But other than that, this thing's pretty refined, very little wind noise. Hearing the slightest bit of exhaust noise with this RST model when it has to accelerate. We do have, oh, there we go. See, I didn't do anything. All of a sudden, it just initiated the lane change. Isn't that awesome? We do have, I forget if it's active fuel management or dynamic fuel management, whichever one is the newer system. So it's cylinder deactivation, GM's term for cylinder deactivation. And unlike some of the older trucks, I don't think I have any way to view when we're in 2-cylinder or 4-cylinder, or however many cylinders are running. The older trucks you could hear when it drops down. I'll have to really keep my ear out while we're driving this, on this test and see if I notice it. But I drove it down about 30 miles on the highway earlier today, and I did not notice when it changed exhaust or cylinder modes. Yeah, quite refined. Oh, there we go, getting over again. This thing's going to end up making itself all the way over to the left lane, and then realize here in Southern California, most people just drive in the left lane, so it's sometimes faster to just stick in one of the right lanes. But let's see what it does. I'm also curious if it gets over into the HOV. Fortunately, if you don't want it to automatically change lanes, it's a quick setting in the center infotainment screen to disable that. I might have to for this fuel economy test, because we try to average 71, and sometimes the left lane's not the best place to do that. Like right here, when you've got Kias going 65 in the left lane, and you got other cars passing them on the right. But anyway, we're going to continue on with the test and catch up with you at the end. We're going to do some testing on this Bose sound system. In the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip.
Counting miles as the highway flies, testing truth, no room for lies. 6 to roar and cruise control, burning questions fuel my soul. Oh, highway mode. Oh, let it go. Pedal east, traffic fades away. Numbers climbing, gauge on display. Winding hair, math in my head, chasing records, nothing left unsaid. Charts and facts, my heart pounds fast, chasing legends built to last.
Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the Chevy Suburban RST. Man, that cylinder deactivation must be doing something, because we are smashing the EPA result according to the vehicle's trip readout. 21.6 MPG is what we're looking at. I don't like it when cruise controls slow down for corners. If I want to take this corner at 72, let me, darn it. Speaking of 72, we are running 1 mile per hour high right now for the keen-eyed observers, just because we've been a little low on the average throughout the drive. Good amount of traffic, and it's not even a lot of traffic, it's just people who don't want to get over, which I understand is a bit ironic right now because I'm not getting over, so I will do that. But it's, I just wanted to bump it up a little bit, try to get us slightly closer to that 70 mile per hour average. It's a comfortable place to be though. No big surprise that a big old family SUV like this would be comfortable, but after spending a few hours in the Honda Passport last week and not being comfortable with that seat bottom, I'm pretty happy that I'm comfortable in here. We've only got two-way lumbar adjustment, but it seems to do the trick. Super Cruise working fantastically. Did most of the driving for me, very happy with it. The screens are a tad bright though, and they're the same screens, or at least they must be very, very close to what we have in our Equinox ED. My problem is if you dial the brightness all the way down, look at how much light there still is coming off the screen. All of these dark areas still emit a good amount of light. It's obviously a very cheap technology screen. It's not like an OLED or anything like that where the pixels really turn down individually power. It's just kind of like a basic LED screen, and it just kind of looks gray when you turn the brightness down. So there's a lot of light from this large screen blasting at me. In terms of the tack shot, we're looking pretty darn low. 1600, between 15 and 1600 RPM here at 72 miles per hour. Very impressive. I'm sure that attributes to our good fuel economy number. Bose sound system is fine. So, all things considered, seems to be a good car to be in on the highway. So I'm going to get it back to the pump, fill it all the way up, and then crunch our final numbers with you in the daylight. Back and all fueled up, we ended up putting in a total of, 4.683 gallons into the tank. 100.3 miles traveled divided by 4.683 is given us, okay, there we are, 21.4, just barely missing the round up. Sorry, Suburban, but still over 10% better than its EP number, 21 miles per gallon here for the Suburban, unladen, mind you, no people, no things, but cruising at 70 miles per hour, 21 miles per gallon, not bad for a vehicle this large and this powerful. We've got a 28-gallon fuel tank in here, so 28 gallons times 21 miles per gallon is giving you a healthy highway cruising range of 580 miles, again, cruising at 70 miles per hour steady state. Now, Ford's got their new Expedition, featuring that 3.5 twin-turbo V6. We're going to be trying to get into that later on this year. We'll be sure to put it on the same test. Hopefully they give us a similar sort of model. They don't give us something like the Justin Timberlake edition that has the all-terrain tires and everything, although that one would be cool to test. So I'll try to get a similar one. We'll put these head-to-head, but I see that as a win for the Suburban. Thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see this tested in a little bit more of a real-world situation with two more people and a bunch of gear and a trailer on the back, check the link below. I'll reset the fuel economy before we head out on our long 600-mile trip tomorrow morning, actually. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.